When 1,000 people believe some made-up story for 1 month, that's fake news. When 1 billion people believe it for 1,000 years, that's a religion. This quote from Yuval Noah Harari, author of *Sapiens*, is a statement that describes the story arc of human history and perfectly sums up the past 6 years in global affairs. So how did we get here? I'm sure many of you have seen the drawings of what people in the early 20th century thought the future of 2022 would look like. Flying cars, nature-rich buildings, collared shirts, lasers, but as we got closer to the turn of the century, more and more dystopian sci-fi like Planet of the Apes, Mad Max, and 2001: A Space Odyssey started to become dominant narrative in the mainstream. But I'm here today with good news. More than anything else, Web3 and cryptocurrency present an opportunity to build a new story from scratch. And Web3 communities are ground zero for where that's happening. So this is the standard structure of what people refer to when they refer to the term Web3 community. There's a fungible token that acts as a currency or a governance mechanism, non-fungible tokens that represent collectibles or membership or identity within these communities, and both of these serve as key ingredients to what's called a decentralized autonomous organization, which is the coordination and governance layer for these communities. But even though this is what constantly circulates on Twitter for what is a Web3 community, this is missing the most important component of what a Web3 community actually is. And that's the metaverse layer. And so like most headlines and mainstream references to the metaverse, when they're calling it a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, I mean, what they're actually referring to is just the internet. But what the metaverse really is in this context is a storytelling container. And that container unites a community and provides a North Star for them to aspire towards and to collaborate towards, and a collective narrative that brings everyone together and inspires them. And really the ultimate vision of what a metaverse is since the early days of the internet is really a vision to create a parallel society that's overlaid on top of our current society. And that provides 3 things. It provides a story for people to participate in. It provides a common culture and shared values. And it provides a democratized governance layer. And so why should anybody care about this? And why is it important? Well, as I alluded to earlier, we're in this really weird time in human history, especially in America, where our shared history is no longer serving as a uniting story for us. And so really the hope of a metaverse is to really craft from scratch a new narrative, one that inspires people, that connects people, and really makes people feel a sense of community. And so it's time to be intentional about the stories that we participate in and that we give our energy to. This right here is what I want to see. A regenerative future inspired by technology, led by nature, and aspirational and positive. Not dystopian, not apocalyptic, and I really refuse to give any energy or attention to those types of stories. But in order to really get to where we want to go as a society, we need to start the process of moving away from rewards and incentives, and instead tap into people's natural motivation through storytelling. And what this does is it provides the right social cue, encouragement, and support. And it creates social ecosystems that normalize the type of work and the language that's going to create a positive society and a positive future. And this is why social-driven DAOs and Web3 communities are going to change the world, because they create an environment that serves as an oasis of normalization for the parallel society that we want to build and live in. But it's going to be a gradual process to get there. Right now, in order for a Web3 community to actually get any sort of meaningful traction, at some point it needs to be injected with capital. And that can either be legacy capital in the form of a fund or retail investors, or it could be liquid cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. But it needs capital to really start the process of doing anything meaningful. And so we're in the first inning of the decentralized internet. And we have before us the opportunity to build new narratives by unlocking all the forms of capital that are inherent within our social communities. And that's monetary capital, social capital, creative capital, and human capital. And we have the opportunity through the structure of a Web3 community to direct these forms of capital towards intentionally creating the future that we want to live in. And so the call to action here is really for the people that were earliest to the space. What are you doing with your newfound wealth? How are you allocating your capital towards those who are authentically and with an open heart leading communities with new and positive stories? And we do currently see some evidence that a positive regenerative future is possible. And it's just going to take belief and putting collective energy into the new stories that we want to live in that are going to get us there.